So today I'm doing an interview. Would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Nick. I live in Houston, Texas. Um, that being said, I'm a big Dallas sports fan. My dad and mom were in Dallas. They split. My mom moved down to Houston, but I always did my sports stuff with my dad. So I've remained a big Dallas sports fan while living behind enemy lines, you could say. I played basketball all through high school. I've always been a big fan of the game. I've always loved the game. I've coached, done instruction for probably about 10 years now with kids from ages like elementary up to like freshman, sophomore in high school. So I've been involved in the game in many ways, from player to coach and doing instruction. Um, in terms of basketball or how that relates to this interview, that's probably about it. My YouTube channel kind of got started, or what kicked it off is when COVID started. I had a lot of time at home, so I made a Dirk Nowitzki video, which has like 225,000 views or something, and that's kind of what kicked it off and got me doing YouTube a little more regularly. I've made a few videos like that since then. I do like uh, streams with my friends and whatnot. So that's kind of where we're at now. And I believe you reached out to me because I had debated or tried to debate the Universe Galaxy, who constantly runs away, and he has a crazy take on Michael Jordan. And then you found me, and that's kind of where we're at.
I understand. What made you want to give instructionals about basketball to kids, particularly?
So my dad coached me. My dad always coached like my little league teams and whatnot, and so that kind of probably spurred it on a little bit. But I honestly just love the game. Like, when it comes to football, playing back in high school, right? Like, I didn't really like practices. I games are always fun, but I didn't like love the game, right? Like a lot of guys do who play with basketball. I could sit out in the driveway and practice on my offhand, practice on my shot. I could sit there for hours and work on the game, and I just loved it. So that's kind of what started it. And as I kind of was in junior high and high schools, like sometimes my dad would still coach other teams here or there, and I'd go help him. And it was always fun coaching kids. It's very rewarding. You have a kid who might be shy or not good at a particular thing, and they start to come out of their shell, or they get good at this particular skill, and it's rewarding to see them implement that in the game, and the kind of joy that they have, and the confidence that builds, when they achieve that thing that they've worked on with you. It's very rewarding. And I just love the ins and outs and the tiny intricacies of the game, whether it be strategy or skills. I just love everything about the game, to be honest.
I understand. What made you want to debate or begin trying to debate the Universe Galaxy? What spurred you on to that? How did you find him and his page? Just tell me a little bit of the story behind it.
I can't quite remember how I came across his page, to be honest with you. I guess just getting in the algorithm, eventually you'll come across different things, right? So I can't quite remember how I found him. I don't think anyone like really recommended him or anything. I kind of just happened to come across him. And he usually has some kind of title like, Michael Jordan is not the best player of all time, or what have you, right? And so I called in a few times, and really, he doesn't so much like use like logic or reasoning. He kind of just tries to out angle and outmaneuver the people he debates, trying to like probably use like different strategies to kind of not exactly address the situation, but to kind of poke holes in what people say instead of just talking like a one for one logical reasoning. And so I got on a few times, and he could never actually just debate me. He just insults people, so like that made me want to come back. Uh, and so that's kind of just how it started. And then eventually he just blocked me from everything because I kept essentially every time I'd call in, I'd make good points, and he couldn't really have a good rebuttal other than to just ad hominem and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it started. And then I made a few recordings of me debating him and put it up. And I guess he doesn't like that because he always deletes his live streams. So I guess I have like some record now up on the internet that won't go away. And I don't know, he just keeps running. And so it made me want to debate him even more. And then I kind of just gave up, to be honest with you. And then he actually reached out to, I showed you that video, Jacob Waters. He actually reached out to him and was like, fine, I'll finally debate him or whatever, which, of course, now we know he wasn't serious. But if anybody wants to go watch that video, he makes a complete ass of himself. But that's kind of where it started and where it ended. And then, according to him, he wants to set up a debate again between us on your channel. So we're trying to set that up currently.
Well, to clarify that, I want to set the debate up. He
Oh,
said that
okay.
he said that he would do it. Um, and just for people watching the interview, how this debate would go would be that the other person would be muted while the individual who has the floor is making their point. That way, there's no interruptions. However, at the end of it, for entertainment value, I was going to open it up to a discussion, open discussion. However, during the actual debate, everyone would be able to say their piece, and there would be no interruptions, which he's agreed upon, and which I understand you've agreed upon too.
Yeah.
So, so that way it could be an actual debate, and then I would put a poll out, and see who the audience believe won.
Nice. Yeah, I'm down for that. Absolutely.
Awesome. So, are you a Michael Jordan fan, and why?
I would not call myself a Michael Jordan fan. I grew up, like I said previously, I'm a big time Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm pretty diehard. I even in one of my videos I state, I'm more of a Michael Finley fan than I am a Michael Jordan fan. Uh, I mean, then again, like I know the game, right? Like I can objectively come to some conclusions or look at the history and accomplishments, records, stats, etc. And we can all draw our own conclusions in terms of this debate that's going on who is the greatest of all time. Like I think it's Michael Jordan, I guess. That doesn't make me a fan of Michael Jordan though. Like that's something that Tug always says is like just because you argue a pro Jordan stance doesn't necessarily make me a Jordan fanboy, as he would say, right? I'm a fan of the
Mhm.
game, so I guess in that aspect I'm a fan of Michael Jordan, but I would not consider myself a Michael Jordan fan.
I understand. Is there any reasoning behind it, or is it just a general concept of you're just more of a fan of other people, or do you not like Michael Jordan outside of his game?
Uh, it's sort of neither. It's just neither. It's just he's just another player in the long list of the game. But like other than like some trading cards I have of him that I just because I like to collect trading cards, like I never followed him. I didn't like buy his posters or put his posters on my wall. I never bought any Jordans. Like I wasn't a quote unquote like fan. I wasn't checking the box score every night to see what Jordan did. I mean, of course I knew of him. Of course I like kept tabs on him just being a fan of basketball, but it's not that I don't like him or that I do like him. It's just I just I'm not a Bulls guy. I'm not a Wizards guy. There's tons of great players. So I mean, he's just another one of those guys in terms of the list of other great players. He's just kind of there.
I understand. So, I heard you say that you think he's the greatest basketball player. Uh, my next question is similar to that, but I don't know if you go and you split hairs with this statement. So who do you think is the greatest basketball player of all time? Not necessarily the greatest of all time, just in respect to just greatness in general, not necessarily the game. Who do you think is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Yeah, so I have a good answer for this, and there's everyone has their own opinion, right? Like who they personally just feel is the greatest of all time. So I think that objectively, right, Jordan is the greatest. I think he has the best argument objectively. My personal favorite, if I had to pick who I subjectively, just on my own terms, I think is the greatest, would probably be Larry Bird. I just think he was the most complete player. He had the most intangibles. I think he got the most out of the guys around him. I mean, really, his only weakness was probably one-on-one perimeter defense, and even then, it's not like it was horrible. I just think he. And one stat I would like to find, which I don't think we're ever going to get, is I know there's like a PER, player efficiency ranking or rating. I would like to see a stat where someone could somehow calculate what a player did while the ball was physically in their hands. Does that kind of make sense? I think Bird would probably be at the top of that list. I just think that when he had the ball, he made the best decisions, the quickest decisions. He produced the most, got other people around him involved. You know, full court, so baseline to baseline, sideline to sideline. I just think he was. I just think he did the most when he was on the floor and or when he had the ball in his hands. Obviously, he's clutch. He's a great shooter. He's got the confidence. In my opinion, I think those Lakers teams were pretty. I think were pretty heavy in terms of their talent. I know the Celtics were too, but considering he went head to head with some of those guys and won in that era with the guys that he had, I really think that an argument could be made for Bird. Obviously, 3 straight MVPs. He's obviously up there, but I just think when he had the ball in his hands, he did the most and produced the most.
I understand. Do you think that he had any real rivals back then? I mean, obviously there's the Magic Johnson comparison; they'll always be linked together. But do you think that in his individual greatness that he had any rivals during the '80s?
Did he, in his brain? No, he probably thought he didn't have any rivals. He probably thought he was better than everyone, but that's kind of how you have to be. I think him and Dr. J get overlooked a little bit in terms of like their competitiveness. Obviously they got in a fight and whatnot, that famous fight, but uh, I think him and his rivalry with Dr. J is a little overlooked. Although Dr. J was maybe a little bit on his way out when Bird was kind of coming into his prime. So
I understand. So so here's a broad question in regards to sports or anything in life really. Do you agree with the statement that the one with the most is the best?
in just a general term, the one with the most is the best. I would say it's a good indicator. I would say it's probably not the end all be all because
Okay.
obviously, like Bill Russell has 11 rings, but I don't really think that makes him the best per se.
Okay. Do you think Michael Jordan fans are the best and why?
uh, I don't have any problem with them for some reason. I guess we're on the topic of of the universe galaxy. He just thinks they're horrible just because they like Michael Jordan, which they're entitled to their opinion. I have no problems with Michael Jordan fans. I think they're just fine. So I don't know why he has such a hard on to hate them.
I understand. Do you think there's any fans that are better than Michael Jordan fans in regards to fandom?
Just one, and that's me for Dirk Nowitzki. He's my favorite player of all time.
I understand. Is there anything you don't anything else you'd like to say or discuss?
No, I mean, well, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing me on and doing the interview. I think it's cool that I've checked out your channel. It seems like you just started maybe recently, and yeah. So definitely, I'd like to say good luck to you growing your channel. anytime you want to have me on for any kind of debate or discussion or anything, I'd be willing to come on. So I thank you for that, and good luck to you. But other than that, no, I mean, just keep on keeping on, and if you can, get your ass in the weight room.
Oh yeah, I'm a calisthenics guy.
Hell yeah, that'll do it.
I'm a big boy. I weigh about 250 pounds, and I'm tall. So uh, the yeah,
Body
so
weight's
calisthenics.
enough, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have endurance because I'm stronger than anybody else anyway. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
yeah, I got you.
but I thank you for coming on, and as you were saying, I agree with that. You're welcome to come on whenever you'd like for whatever. I appreciate your perspective, and I will link your page in the description for NMB Sports. And if you'd like to send me that video for the interview with Universe Galaxy, if you hyperlink it to me. Oh wait, no, it's in my email. I'll go do that.
Okay.
I will put that in there just as reference. However, um, with that being said, we're trying to set up a debate between you and Universe Galaxy again. So hopefully that happens, and everyone should stay tuned for that. And for everyone, Michael Jordan fans are the best.
All right, thanks, man.
And there is another intelligent Michael Jordan fan. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.